This is beast mode. We got a 10-minute rapid game. We're playing with black, and we got the French defense, right? So e4, e6, d4, d5, and our opponent goes for the advanced variation, right? So our next move, c5. Our opponent gives a check here. It's inaccurate. The evaluation already says we're winning now. Just so slightly, though. We block with our knight. They develop their knight, and then I play the move queen b6. I'm not so sure if this is what I had prepared in my repertoire. I don't see that bishop b5 check a ton anymore. I used to see it quite a ton, but not that much. So I play queen b6. After the game, we'll check it out and see what I'm supposed to play in this position. But nevertheless, they take. I take back with the pawn. Opponent castles, and then I go bishop to a6, right? Putting pressure on this light square diagonal. I think that's the main problem with my opponent developing or trading off the light square bishop like that, because the main downside of the French is my light square bishop is blocked in, but by that exchange, now I get to develop over on this side of the board, right? Opponent goes knight b to c3. I take on d4. And I thought this was a pretty good move, because if my opponent takes back, I take the rook with my bishop. And I'm also attacking this knight here. And then in this position, I analyze knight to a4. And you'll see what I played here, because that's exactly what my opponent played, knight a4. And then I go queen to b5, threatening to take this knight altogether. Opponent finally takes back, and then they just decide to hang their knight over on a4. So thanks for the free piece. Now, very dangerous. This wasn't just a free win. My opponent did a really good job with the counterplay here in this game. So kudos to them. I know something I struggle with quite a bit is I'm pretty good in these openings, but these middle games and end games, I struggle converting sometimes. I would say probably 75% of my games, I'm dialed in on the opening, and then I do throw a decent amount of games just because I'm not accurate after I get a winning position such as this, even up a full piece sometimes. So I got a lock in still. They go b3, and then I go over to b4, right? And here's my thought process here. If my opponent takes this pawn, I am going to go down to b6, attacking it, and I'm also attacking this rook at the same time, right? So they get the rook out of the way, and then I bring my bishop over. And it's kind of the same thought process, right? If they take, I'm going to bring my queen back down, and then I'm going to take this pawn here and win a rook again, right? So that's kind of the benefit of this position. And one of the reasons I like the French defense is there's sometimes where you get both your bishops out on these two strong diagonals, just carving up the board. My opponent takes, it's inaccurate, so I go forward with my plan. My opponent goes b4, doesn't really do anything, because then I take the pawn, win the rook, and then I win the knight as well. So I'm up 8 points of material here. All right. But again, opponent gets some decent counterplay going. I gotta thug it out. I gotta convert it. They go a4. They're just shoving their pawns forward at this point. They're threatening a fork here. So I get my bishop over to c4, and that bishop's never going anywhere ever, because we got opposite colored bishops. The pawns are in front of it. There's nothing that can kick it out. My opponent goes queen g3, decent move, counterplay, attacking my g7 pawn. So I shove it forward. They bring their bishop out, develop it. I develop my knight. They trade, and now my king's out. It's activated. Got my rooks connected. So I feel pretty dang good about this position here. My opponent gives a check, slide out of the way, and then my queen gets attacked. I jump it forward. Now I'm thinking about some back rank stuff potentially. My opponent goes queen f6, and this queen's kind of tough. definitely looking back, I should have just dropped my queen back and gone for the trade. Tried to force something, but I just, for some reason, I thought defending my pawn with my rook was gonna get the job done. Like, it's just, I don't know, that rook could be doing something way better. My opponent pushes the c pawn. I bring my queen out, and I'm threatening to take on c3. We just trade pawns here. He gets a getaway square for their king. I take the free pawn, and now they're attacking my b6 pawn here. And I really cannot afford to have like this kind of counterplay by allowing them to get their rook in over here. It just felt like bad news, right? So I slide my queen over, defending the b6 pawn on this diagonal. And then I shove my pawn forward, and now my bishop's protecting it. And they keep pushing their pawn. I slide my queen back. And really, in this position, it's pretty dang tough to lose. But I decided to make it as difficult as possible on myself, right? They go rook a1, and I should have just kept pushing this pawn. But they bring their queen back. I brought my queen out. And they go rook a5. Push the pawn again. They go a7 with their pawn. Now they're one square away from queening. And then I blunder right here. I blunder, and it's actually a draw. And my opponent plays the right moves, right? So here, everything was fine. Hindsight, I should have just kept my queen over on this a file and pushed my b pawn. But I didn't, and I blunder right here. And the reason it's a blunder because they go check and kick my king out of the way, right? But here, I definitely should have just played b2. It just kept going forward. But I felt like I missed that check, and that's what they played, check. They make a queen, so I got to take, and now that f7 pawn falls. And it's a draw here. They can just give perpetual checks. They take the pawn, check, but they mess up here, right? They needed to go queen e7 check. So queen e7, and then no matter where I go, it's just perpetual check. Right, check here. Queen d6, queen e6, king b7, queen d6. So, yeah, I messed up there. But also, my opponent gave the wrong check here. Went queen d7. And that allows me to run up and attack the rook. And he goes for the rook trade, and now I'm back to winning. I got mate on the board, mate in 16. I don't believe I played mate in 16. But he just keeps giving me checks. He's fighting for his life here. He wins the rook, but it doesn't matter because I'm about to win, or about to bake in a queen. And this pawn's defended nicely by my queen here, right? He just keeps giving checks. I run my queen around. Gives a check here, which is inaccurate because I can block, and now there's no more checks. And then it's nice because I make a queen trade. And then I cut the king off on the f file. He pushes his pawn forward. I give a check, and then mate. So definitely a sketchy game by me. I need to be better in the conversions. But really good job by my opponent and finding the nice counterplay. So let's go to our opening analysis and see how we did. So here at our opening analysis, in our French defense, we got e4, e6, d4, d5, and the advance. The advance, we go c5, c3. So I actually do not have anything prepared against this move right here, bishop b5. So in my game, I went knight c6, which is the right move. My opponent, I believe they went here, which is just a weird move. Let me check that out right there. I might not even throw this in my analysis because I don't know how often again I'll see that. I'm supposed to go queen a5 check in this position. They block. So queen a5 check, they block with the bishop or with the knight, and then I go here. So that's a weird line. I feel like more likely than not, I'm going to see knight f3 here. And then if I see that, again, I go for the queen a5. They're going to block. And then in this position here with the knight on f3, he takes d4 is a good move. I can also as well play this bishop d7. Let's see here. What would I like to play? I feel like this takes. It just puts too much pressure on this knight here. So I'm going to stick with this bishop to d7 move here. But yeah, this is what I'll keep in my repertoire. So good thing I saw that. Haven't had anything prepared for that bishop b5 move. So going forward, we'll continue to build if we ever go down this line again. Thanks again for watching. If you want to play, drop a comment down below and I'll post a game recap. Alright, see you next time.